Okay, so good evening, everyone, and welcome to Garanto Academy's free masterclass on generative AI for HR and L&D. Again, my name is Thea, and I'll be your session admin for today. So before we begin, just a quick few reminders for everyone. We'll be taking a short group photo before we start. So if it's okay with you all, to please turn on your cameras if you're comfortable, and we'll be sending attendance and certificate links 10 minutes before the session ends for your certificates as well. Again, we're excited to have you here and look forward to an engaging session together. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce our trainer for today's session. We're joined by Miss Santi Sukumaran, a dynamic professional with over 30 years of experience in the financial services industry. She is a CIPD certified trainer and has held key leadership positions in AmBank and Afin Islamic Bank. Most notably, she served as the Director of Learning and Development at the Affin Bank Group, where she played a pivotal role in curating and facilitating programs, equipping banking professionals with the skills to adapt, grow, and excel. Ms. Santi's training's expertise spans goal setting, personal development, Kaizen, problem solving, negotiation, and team building. In recent years, she has also focused on integrating generative AI applications in HR and L&D, helping organizations leverage AI to enhance talent analytics, learner engagement, and future ready learning strategies. Her passion lies in bridging technology and human potential, empowering individuals and teams to achieve sustainable growth. So, again, please join me in welcoming Ms. Santhi to lead us through today's masterclass on generative AI for HR and L&D.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tia. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is keeping well. Well, I need permission before I start because I'm actually, at a location where the internet is not so stable. So what I will do is I will actually turn off my video before I start my presentation. So Tia, please allow me to share. I'll be sharing my slides now. Yeah?
Sure, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. Are you able to see the slide?
Yes, ma'am.
You can, huh? All right. Once again, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this masterclass of empowering HR and L&D with generative AI. So, before I move on, right, I just want to emphasize that AI is actually not a technology. It is a transformation that is taking place currently. So if you realize AI has become a very buzzword and it is here in our lives. It has been around for quite some time and most of us may not be aware of it, and it is going to stay on for a while. So with that, being in HR, you see, we are in the center of this any transformation. Changes are powered by people, and we are with the people for the people. So hence, HR is the heart for the AI. We are the catalyst to actually promote this AI. So let me start. I want to ask a question actually. Now, if AI, see, since all of us are, we are all working, right? And I'm sure we have actually used ChatGPT the least. Now, if AI could take over one task, the XXX here could be repetitive, never ending, time consuming, mind numbing, or boring HR or L&D task. I'm asking this question. For me, it would be what? What do you think AI can actually take over one of your tasks? Would you be able to actually share some points in the chat box? Are you getting any messages? I really can't see the chat box. Can you see, Thea?
Yes, ma'am. But
Okay.
no response still from our participants.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, Sir Edwin said repetitive and boring.
Okay, yeah, I know. What excellent, Edwin, but what sort of task would you like? For example, email writing or writing policy. Would would you have anything in particular that or any one of you, what task would you think
Oh,
that AI can actually take on?
okay, so Miss Nurfara said resume screening. Subana
Ah,
said
resume screen,
screening
excellent. Mm,
screening candidates.
all
And
right.
Miss
Oh,
Geraldine
okay, now I can see.
said,
Mm,
can you see, ma'am, the chat?
yeah. Yes, now I
Okay,
can
okay.
see. All right.
Okay, ma'am.
Updates on HR regulation, policies, yes, procedure, sample letters, excellent, statistics, example, attendance, yes, fantastic. AI can actually help us out with all these things. So I'm actually going to, in this 1 hour, I will just share with you in a nutshell what AI can actually do for us, especially when you are in HR and L&D. Okay. Now, moving on to my next slide, right? So I'm sure we always use Waze, Grab. We use Waze to actually, take us to the destination that we want to go through the GPS. Grab, we're actually waiting for our food. How long more is it, to get to us? And Lazada, our shopping preferences. Gmail here, where, the ability of Gmail to actually screen your emails and push it to the spam. Yeah. And also Siri. We use Siri. In fact, even weather. How's the weather going to be today? We ask Siri. Netflix. Since you have watched this, these are the movies that's recommended for you. So this is all AI in the background who's working. And this is on our personal life. It's every day in our personal life. So imagine what AI can do in our professional life. So without realizing, this is all, done by AI. Yeah. So moving on, I'm just going to share with you how AI has actually evolved, the history of AI and how it is what it is today. Let's see how it has evolved. Yeah? The fundamentals of generative AI. Now, going to the history of AI. In 1950s, 1980s, AI was actually introduced, but then we called it traditional AI. We didn't know it was actually AI. Okay. It was based on certain rules which were already pre-coded, or instructions which were already programmed into the system. So we were already using AI. For example, like in a working environment, if you are 1 year employed, then your leave entitlement is equal to 20 days. So it's rule-based, 1 year, 20 days. So it follows a certain rule pattern. Then the AI evolved in 1990s, in the 90s, right up to 2010, right? It became a bit more advanced where it didn't really follow, it followed rules, but beyond rules, it started looking at data. So when it started looking at data, it started learning to filter data. Here it gives you percentage. When you ask for percentage, it gives you scoring. So it made sense out of the data. So this was in 2010. And then in 2014, we had the GANs. GANs is the generative adversarial networks. This is where two AIs were formed. Okay. One is the generator and the other one is the discriminator. So they work together and they actually started creating images, music, and content. So I'm not showing you here, but what you can do is if you go to Google, for example, this face does not exist. You just type this face does not exist. This is a simple form of gun where it'll take you to an AI and it will create an image of a real person which does not exist. So to that extent, in 2014, that was a breakthrough for images, right? And then in 2017, what happened? They transformed. This is the foundation of what AI is today. This is where chatbot started existing. So AI started learning from language, started learning to make sense, started learning from stories. Okay. So I will actually explain to you what LLM is all about. And then 2020 onwards, this is where the boom of generative AI happened. This is where ChatGPT came about, Gemini came about, Perplexity, Jasper, name all the AIs. So this is how AI actually evolved in our, in from 1950 to 2020, not only in our professional front, also in our personal front. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Is there any questions so far? Because so far, no? Okay, I'll move on, yeah? So with that, the next slide is, okay. Now, you saw the word LLM. What does LLM mean? So what has made AI to be what it is today, or the generative AI to be what it is today? So AI actually is learning from a model called large language model. Here, what happens is there's it's like a library which actually stores billions and billions of words. So it's like a huge brain. AI is a huge brain which has billions of words where it is taken or it is developed from books, websites, and articles. So the moment this brain has these billions of words, what happens is when you actually prompt or you ask a question, it starts structuring human-like responses using this LLM, which transforms into a human-like language. Okay, so when you put in a prompt, it starts creating responses, be it in writing, be it translating, be it answering questions or summarizing. So in a nutshell, the model behind AI is actually the LLM model, where it has millions of words. Hence, when you key in certain words, it actually can start answering you like a human. It creates the responses. So this is how it has evolved. Now let's move on. Now I told you that the traditional AI and the generative AI. Now, believe me or not, we have been using AI long before. So let's see when we have been using and how is it different from how we used to use it before and how we used to use it now. Yeah, how we are using it now. So traditional AI versus generative AI. Now, if you look at traditional AI, now, I'm sure you are very familiar with your HR system, your LMS system, your applicant tracking system. This is for your recruitment. Yeah, you have your HRMS or HRIS. So traditional AI was actually built into this system. For example, your LMS. Your LMS can actually give you statistics of the learning completion. How many percent has completed the module? How many percent has not? So this is all the work of the traditional AI. So it works, remember I told you it works on a preset rule. So if this, then this. So it has a rule which is already pre-programmed into the system. And for traditional AI to work, it needs very structured data. It needs spreadsheets. So which means you have to feed it with data. You have to feed it with records. You have to feed it with ratings. Only then can it give you some kind of information. Yeah. And it follows a logic. If A, then B. Okay. If you're confirmed staff, then you're entitled to a loan. How much loan? If your salary is this much, how much do you qualify? So it follows a certain logic. And it supports decision. So we use traditional AI to do filtering, to do scoring. Like, for example, the banks, they use traditional AI to see if a customer is qualified for a loan. So this is all, it works from behind the screen. It is not creative. It cannot write or it cannot generate like what it can do now, what AI can actually do now. So it works silently in the background. So this is traditional AI. Now let's look at generative AI. Now this is what we are going through in this current era, yeah? Generative AI. It creates languages. Hold on, now let me just move this aside. It creates languages based on, language based on what human language, the LLM model that I was telling you just now. It uses unstructured data. So when you type in, you don't have to be grammatically correct. You can just put in some text and it actually can make sense out of whatever you have actually keyed in or you have prompted it. It generates new content. See, whatever images that I have today in my slides, it is actually created by the AI. I just say what I want and it comes up with images. So it generates new content. And you can interact with it via prompt. You can actually keep asking, keep building via prompts. And it keeps giving you, generating more and more information to build and build until you get what you want. Yeah. It supports creation. It writes, it summarizes, it can even translate, yeah, to different languages. It adapts a tone, style, and context. Here, it can be informal. If you want it to be informal, if you want it to be professional, you want it to be formal, you want it to be firm, yeah, it can adapt the style that it wants. And it's human guided and customizable, like I said. You can actually ask it to summarize, you can actually ask it to filter out, you can ask it to expand, can do wonders, yeah. This is how the generative AI is currently happening. And let me share some examples of generative AI tools that we currently have. I'm sure you're very familiar with ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, yeah? This is when you create content. When you want to design or you want to, create your PowerPoint, you go into Canva. Canva creates images for you. Coding and development, you can use your Copilot, which is very popular these days. Audio, video, you can use your Synthesia. So these are the AIs, and there are many, many more AIs that is available. Like for me, I'm using Notion AI now. So as I'm speaking to you, I've actually created a prompt. What should I say? What are my pointers? Notion AI. So AI is actually helping us in many ways. So you can capitalize on AI, but more so when you're in HR and L&D. That's where I come from. Yeah, I've been using AI for all. When I was in L&D, I was using ChatGPT. I was using Canva for most of my slide, especially the content creation. It gives me some kind of idea what I can build on. Yeah. So moving on, benefits of generative AI in L&D and HR. Now, I'd like to ask a question to the team here. Yeah. Why is AI important and how can it help us? What can it do for us now in HR? So can I see some answers from you, please? Can I see some answers if possible? Are there some answers coming? Why is AI important? Just give me any answers. See, when we interact, I actually know, where to build on. To fasten our work process. Excellent. Anything else? Yes, it can help us fasten. It actually does response in seconds, yeah? Anything else? What else? Why does AI matter for us in HR? Gives new, excellent. Yeah, it's creative. It gives you new ideas. Fantastic. What else? Anyone else? Okay, let me just share what I have here, right? Now, AI is very important these days, especially for us. If you ask the youngsters, right, they're very much into AI. Why? Simply because, right, AI creates content very quickly. See, sometimes we don't know what to write. We're actually literally staring at a blank, email. We don't know how to start. So by just using AI, it gives you a jump start. It helps you create content quickly. Yeah, and you'll be able to build from there. And when you do that, you literally improve efficiency. You don't have to actually look at resources or have a discussion, find resources and sit down and discuss what do we do. You can actually create something and work from there. And it saves a lot of time due to the speed it gives us the information that we want. You save a lot of time. Yeah. It supports personalization. Now, being in HR, people want speed, people want efficiency, people want personalization. This is what staff are looking for, employees are looking for. They want an experience. And AI helps us to create that experience. Yeah, it supports creativity, like what one of you said. You see, for example, icebreakers. You can actually go to AI and ask, can you give me some icebreakers for this program that I'm running? It can actually support your creativity. I have this. Can I enhance it better? Can you make it more impactful? Okay, AI will be able to share tips, share the output with you. It helps you in decision making. Yeah, it gives you information where it has pulled from various, from the LLM just now, right? And you can use it to make very evaluated decision. Yeah. Future ready workforce. Now, this word is a buzz now, future ready. You need to create future ready workforce, future ready workforce. Now, if you have read Alvin Toffler, he's a futurist. Decades ago, actually, he wrote a book, Future Shock. What he said was, the future is not where the ability of people to read or write. Yeah, it is the ability of people, to adapt, for them to be agile. So this is what he wrote about 30, 40 years ago, which is reality now. So agility is no longer a choice. It is survival. So people need to learn how to use AI. They need to capitalize on AI. So that's where HR comes in. We need to, create the avenue for people to start using the AI. Yeah, future ready workforce. And finally, what is AI, HR all about? HR is all about people, creating connection, creating network that creates collaboration. So if we are bogged down with a lot of admin work, we don't have time for engagement. So we need to capitalize on AI to to reduce our admin work and have more time for the real job, which is people engagement. So that's why AI really matters for HR. Now moving on. Yeah. So in HR, we have various functions, right? So how is AI going to help us across the employee life cycle? So here it is actually from hire to retire. How does AI play a role? Yeah. So recruitment and talent acquisition, onboarding and induction. This is where we acquire talent, or we acquire people. Yeah. The next one is learning and development, talent management and succession planning. Here we talk about developing people. So acquiring people, developing people, and finally performance appraisal and employee engagement. This is where we manage people. So basically it's from hiring right until their retirement. So how can AI help us? Yeah. So every stage, sorry, there's a typo error. Yeah. Every stage, how, or every task, every journey from hire to retire, how can we have pain points, and how can AI add value to these pain points? So what are pain points, and what opportunity or what value add can AI do? For example, if we are in recruitment and talent acquisition, the pain point here, like what someone said just now, time consuming resume screening. Yes, looking at each resume, and screening, looking at keywords. So it's really a challenging task. Yeah. And when we respond to candidates, sometimes we just copy paste an email. So how can we be consistent in our communication? So AI helps us do that. AI can actually, we call it pass or keyword screening, yeah, where AI can speed up screening of key words for that particular job that we are looking for. And it can remove biasness. Sometimes we look at a CV, and we are human, we can be biased, but AI doesn't have that biasness. It screens and it tells you, okay, this people is suitable for this job. These keywords are here in this CV, right? And professional consistent experience. This is where it actually creates different tone, different email. So even if the candidate is not qualified for the job, or you're not taking the candidate for the job, he does not qualify to be an employee of the organization, how you can sound professional yet creating a positive experience for that person? The AI will be able to actually help you. Yeah. Next, onboarding and induction. Here, new hires sometimes feel lost when you come in. They don't know what to do. They're bored. Yeah, they're overwhelmed with info. So many things to read, so many things to understand, so much of information overloaded. So how can AI help? See, AI can actually probably help with one login, and it can integrate a few things together. For example, it can integrate policy, it can integrate your probation period, what is, the forms for you to fill in, how are you assessed, your buddy, who are they, and what is required in that particular role. It can actually integrate a few things and help the new hire to actually have an experience altogether. Better engagement. You can create a chat bot for questions. They don't need to scroll and look for it. They just ask question and the chatbot will be able to actually give you answers. So this is how AI can help when it comes to onboarding and induction. Learning and development. Sometimes we have one module and we hope that this module will actually fit for every level. Yeah, and everybody's going to understand from this one particular module. Well, with AI, we call it adaptive learning. So it becomes very personalized for this group of people. The compliance is like this. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to understand. For interns, this is what you need to understand. So it actually helps in personalized learning pathways. Yeah. And performance management. See, performance management has always appraisals. Yeah, it's always an administrative task. And sometimes we feel disconnected with it. Why are we doing it? We feel biasness. Yeah. And we feel like, whatever achievements, how do we actually put it in and show that we have actually done so much? So with AI, right, it becomes more meaningful. It can help you in structuring choices of words, in putting it in very positive way, and not looking at what was in the past, moving forward. Your PDP, your career conversations, it can actually help you. Yeah. So AI will help you do this. Talent management and succession planning. Sometimes it's so difficult to identify future leaders early. But with AI, when you have a proper data-driven insight, you have records, you have data for each one of them in terms of their performance, in terms of the trainings that they have attended, in terms of the feedback. If you do a 360 feedback, you actually can somewhat look at the readiness of the people, the incumbent, or the people that you have selected for succession planning. Employee engagement. Sometimes employee engagement, you only do it when you see staff morale is low, or when you see there's a dip in, in people, or there's a rise in complaints or dip in people's performance. Then you start doing an employee engagement. But with AI, you can actually do pulse checks. You can do pulse check and check every now and then. And here it gives you data where what kind of intervention that is required. What can you do? What kind of actions can you take? So in this opportunity here, not all we can readily do. Sometimes we need the IT support. We need system intervention. We need enhancement. But nevertheless, AI gives us this opportunity and it can create value, adding value in these tasks that we have in HR, yeah, or the journey or the functions that we have in HR. Okay, so I would like to move on now. Yeah, so I'm actually going to just zoom into Chat GPT. Yeah, the Chat GPT. How can we actually use Chat GPT as a co-pilot, in our day-to-day task? Now, what can ChatGPT do? Let's look at what ChatGPT can do for us. Drafting content, emails, JDs, policies, learning outlines. This is an area where heavy writing. This is where you need to write, you need to read and come up with policies, guidelines, learning outlines. So ChatGPT can actually help to draft content. So if you put in what you want, your prompt has to be, whatever you put in your input creates output. So if you want your output to be effective, your input or your prompt has to be accurate. And we'll talk about prompting later. So this is where it can actually create emails for you, JDs, for example. You want to uh, different job, different seniority. So the JDs, you can actually start drafting. ChatGPT can actually give you a sample of the JD, yeah, which you can actually work on from then on. Yeah. And rephrase and polish writing, adjusting your tone and simplifying complex text. So ChatGPT can actually do this. You want to rephrase. You have a very, a way where you put in an email which doesn't sound so friendly or doesn't sound so professional. ChatGPT can actually polish it for you, adjust the tone, yeah, the way you want it to be. Summarizing long info. For example, you have law or you have some guidelines, some new enforcement or new policy that came into effect. You can actually put it into ChatGPT and get it to summarize what's new, what's the penalty, where should I focus on? It can actually summarize this long information. And I have been using this whenever I want to look at, for example, in the bank, what are the new guidelines when it comes to foreign exchange rules? I've been using ChatGPT to summarize uh, these, these guidelines. Yeah. Next thing is generate ideas, especially when you're interviewing someone. So what kind of interview questions that you can zoom into for this particular person or this particular candidate? L&D topics. Okay, they have gone through, or, for example, handling multiple generation. How can a leader handle different generation? What kind of outline can I create? What kind of modules can be in this topic? So it can generate ideas for you. Yeah. Or even icebreakers for induction program. Yeah. It can give you some kind of ideas. Now, the other thing it can do is translate tone and language, formal to casual, yeah, English to BM, personalized compliments. Somebody has gotten through a certification. How do you actually compliment? Yeah, what kind of tone? How's the language? How do you actually send it to them? Yeah, a congratulatory note. Yeah. And it can create templates, SOPs, onboarding plans, training checklist, whether you have ticked all the boxes. Yeah. So this is what ChatGPT can do. But there are limitations to ChatGPT, which you also need to know. Yeah. The limitation, what ChatGPT cannot do. Yeah. It cannot assess your internal system of files. It doesn't know your people. It doesn't know your policies until you feed the information. So you need to feed the information in order to get the output. Yeah. Next, it cannot make HR decision. It can only facilitate or give you suggestions, but judgment is yours. So never use ChatGPT to come up with final decisions or making judgments. Yeah. The other thing is ChatGPT doesn't understand emotions or culture. It just writes the tone. It cannot feel. It cannot relate. Yeah, only human can do that. Only human can feel and understand. Yeah. The next thing is it cannot replace real human connection. That's why I said human resource, the main job for us is connecting with people, building that network and that collaboration. Okay, that comes from us. So it only can support you. See, human builds trust. And people need to trust us, trust HR. Trust is either 0 or 100%. There's no 70% or 60% trust. So this is where we come in. Yeah. The human connection comes in. Next, it doesn't guarantee accurate answers. So it may sound very confident, yeah, but we need to check the facts. We need to do our own, we need to check. So there are some AIs which gives you citation, which gives you source where the information comes from. For example, Perplexity, yeah, it gives you the source of the information. So you may want to verify. So you don't take that the information is accurate 100%. So you need to understand the limitations of ChatGPT before using it. Yeah. So I'll move on. Yeah. So how can, remember I said from hire to retire. So how can Chat GPT help us when it comes to recruitment and talent acquisition? So I have chosen a few of the functions of HR. So I'm going to just show you some of the processes or the, how it can actually help us step by step. So drafting of JD, you can use ChatGPT to draft JD. Yeah, whatever the job entails, you can actually get AI or ChatGPT to draft the JD for you. And you can also use ChatGPT to create job ads, yeah, which will sound very professional. And you can create employee branding. So once you have the job ad, you can actually advertise it at the advertising platforms or social media. So you can use ChatGPT to create the employee branding, yeah, using the output that it gives you. Yeah, you got to understand how to actually use it towards your culture, your values. Yeah. The next thing is, how do you, assuming you've gotten resumes, how do you use it to shortlist your resumes? What are the keywords? What do you want to see in the resume? Yeah. And you can then generate screening and interview questions based on the shortlisted resumes that you have. And the next thing is, how do you summarize your interview notes, your resume, and then you have interviewed the person. What are your interview notes that you have? Yeah. And finally, you can use ChatGPT to draft candidate communication. So these are some steps for recruitment and talent acquisition you can use ChatGPT for. Yeah. So likewise, I've also created one for learning and development. So learning and development, here is where our main role is actually to come up with initiatives to build competencies, to build skills for people, people. Yeah. So what do? We design learning topics, objective and outlines. ChatGPT can actually come up with objectives and outlines based on your target audience or based on the group that you want to train. Yeah. Here, it can build training modules and content. Training modules here can be half a day program, bite-sized learning, or 2-day program, or a series of program, a modular series that you want to come up with. Yeah, it can customize the tone, the style, and activities. Is it experiential learning, or is it going to be assessment learning? Is it going to be attachment kind of learning? Yeah. And it can help you generate quizzes and reflection questions. What are the questions, to ensure understanding, to ensure that they're going to apply it. So you can use ChatGPT to come up with quizzes. Yeah. Draft learning invites. When you want to invite somebody for training and send reminders, how do you humanize the invitation? Okay, ChatGPT can help you do that. Yeah. Summarize training feedback. How did the training go? What needs improvement? What areas can you enhance further? Yeah. And finally, suggestions for follow through. So should there be another follow through or follow up module? Should they be sent for some kind of other more customized training? So this is for learning and development. Also created one for employee engagement. Yeah, employee engagement. This is so important. And with ChatGPT or with AI, you can consistently or do this on a frequent basis. Yeah. So you can design survey questions. Yeah. And you can draft communication messages for them, for your staff to participate. Welcome them to participate in the survey. Yeah. And you can, once they've participated, you can actually send them thank you notes or recognition for their participation. Yeah. You can summarize whatever in the survey. If it's this, the qualitative part or the open text part, you can actually summarize what's the sentiment of the people. How do they feel? What's the ground saying? Yeah. Yeah. Is it leadership issue? Is it compensation issue? Yeah. Then you can summarize, like I said, summarize the survey feedback. Yeah. You can use the quantitative and the qualitative to summarize your feedback. And finally, recommend quick win engagement ideas. How can you come up with initiatives to narrow the gaps of whatever the outcome of the survey has actually given you? Yeah. So this is on employee engagement. So this is where ChatGPT can actually help every function in HR. So I've selected the three, yeah. Now, this is the most important part, mastering prompts for impactful results. So, like I said just now, because it can actually understand the human language, you don't have to be grammatically correct, but you need to know how to ask so that you get you get the outcome, the desired outcome that you want. So why prompt matters? Because the better you prompt, the better your output. So you need to tell what you want and how do you do that? Let's explore how do we do that, yeah? So prompting structure, what you want. You need to state what you want. This is so important. What do you want? What is it for? You need to tell ChatGPT what is it for, okay? And who is it for? This is also important. And finally, how should it should sound? Because if you don't say how it should sound, it comes up with a generic output. So you need to mention how it should sound. Should it sound firm? Should it sound professional? Should it sound formal? Yeah, you need to mention how it shall. Let's do an example here. Recruitment and talent acquisition. Yeah, recruitment and talent acquisition. For example, you are you want to create a job description for a senior credit analyst. So here, write a job description for a senior credit analyst in the risk management function of a bank. Yeah, I'm giving you a banking example. The role should focus on evaluating loan proposals, identifying risks, ensuring compliance with credit policies, and making recommendation to the credit committee. Now make it professional and motivating, suitable for experienced candidates in credit risk. So here we have the what you want, what is it for, who is it for, and how it should sound. Now let's do an example, right? I am going to actually copy this. Let me go here. And I will show you the output, right? I'm going to copy this. And I'm actually, Thea, can you see my slide actually?
Yes, ma'am. The whole
You
the
can,
whole thing.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm going to go into ChatGPT. I'm actually using the paid version, right? So let's paste this and let's see what outcome we are going to get. So I've copied whatever I've written just now that I shared with you. Yeah. And let's see the outcome that we are going to get. Okay, here's a polished, motivating and job description for the role you describe. So can you see it actually gives you the role overview, of course, the location, the department, and reports to whom you have to fill in later. It gives you the role overview, the responsibilities, yeah, the qualification and requirements. Yeah, you got to check this. Why join us? It even tells you why, what's the benefit of joining, okay, the organization. Now you can actually, now looking at the key responsibilities, when I look at this, now this is a senior role. For you may want to include leading and managing junior credit analysts. So you got to now prompt it further. Please include leading and managing junior CAs, credit analysts. Let's see whether, what's the output. It actually modifies the output, yeah, and gives and adds in. So if you can see, team leadership and management. Lead and manage a junior credit analyst. Provide coaching feedback. It has added for you. So this is to what extent AI can actually help you. Yeah. So it does your job for you. So you have got to now proofread this. Yeah. So going back to my slide again. Oh, sorry. Let me. Thea, can you see what I'm sharing now?
Yes, ma'am. Prompting structure.
Yeah, all right. So this is for JD. Now let's move on to another example, right? Let's look at onboarding and induction. So you want to actually draft a welcome email, or, to a branch manager who's going to join. So draft a welcome email for a newly appointed branch manager to be sent by HR as part of onboarding in a warm, professional, and motivating tone that makes them feel valued and excited to begin their journey. So here again, when you put this, you will get a very professional email. So you need to try this out. So I'm just sharing these examples, yeah. Now the next one, another example is for learning and development. Build training modules and micro learning content for junior relationship managers. Yeah. Design a structured training program outlined with 5 to 6 modules covering credit skills, trade finance, risk awareness, and professional growth, where each should be a 2-day module. The outline is for junior corporate banking relationship managers who are new to the role. Present it in a clear, professional, and practical tone, focusing on skill building and role readiness. So your prompting is so important. You need to cover what you want, what is it for, who is it for, how it should sound. So with that, you get a very comprehensive output. Yeah. So any questions so far before I move on? Are we good to proceed, Thea?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So the next one, like I mentioned just now, we revise and rework the content. So it not only creates, it improves. So for example, just now I asked it to add, lead and manage. So you may want to make it shorter. You want to make it simpler. You want it to be written in a positive way, or you want to translate it. You want to reword so that it sounds more impactful. And the last one, you want it to be humanized so that it doesn't sound so robotic. So ChatGPT will actually be able to help you. I've created one here, humanizing communication. For example, yeah, a robotic way. Please be informed that your leadership workshop will be held on 25th October at 9 a.m. Attendance is compulsory. Ensure you complete the pre-read document. So this is a very robotic and not so friendly tone. So how do you use ChatGPT to humanize this? So humanized version here would be, we're excited to invite you to the leadership workshop on 25th October, 9 a.m. This will be an important session where we explore new ways of leading in today's environment. To get the most out of it, please take a few minutes to go through the pre-read beforehand. Looking forward to seeing you there. So this has actually created a very friendly and exciting invitation. Yeah, so you can use ChatGPT to humanize. So this is one example that I normally use, and I think we should in HR capitalize on this. Yeah. So moving on, what are the do's and don'ts? Yeah, you need to know what you should not do when you're prompting. Yeah. So do's and don'ts, I've already explained. The don'ts I'm actually emphasizing here. Never include an employee's real name or personal details. Yeah, we owe privacy. So we should not put in, please write an email of this tone to Encik Ali. Yeah, never put in personal details. Yeah, who is coming in late. Never put in those kind of details. Always, camouflage it. Always use dummy names, or just put the staff. Yeah, never use real names. And describe it in a very general situation. Yeah, an employee has missed a deadline, for example. How do I send a caution email? So do not put the name of the employee. Just use an employee instead. Yeah, and focus on the task and the outcome, not on the person. So when you use ChatGPT, never focus on the person. Always look at the task and what outcome you want to use from the generation of the prompt. Yeah. Keep prompts clear, simple, and specific. Don't be sophisticated. Simple and clear. Like what I mentioned just now, what is it for? What tone you want? Why is it important? Who is it for? Yeah. Next one, add the tone or style. If you don't add it, it becomes a very generic statement. So you got to say what kind of tone you want. If it's empathetic tone, you want to send a message for a staff who just lost someone. So how you need to put the tone there. Yeah. So it gives you an exact or of what you want. It can actually read your message, or and craft out something for you, and you improvise from there. Next, now, using AI. Now, like I said, AI everybody is using, but how do we use it responsibly, and how do we actually use it ethically? It is so important, and HR has to be the catalyst of this. Yeah, you got to promote ethical use of AI for when staffs are using it. So remember, AI does not protect your data. So if you should not allow, when you're actually promoting AI, refrain staff from putting in data which are very confidential, which is very private, which should not be in. Yeah, you need to make sure that these data don't go into your AI. Yeah, it is still your job, HR's job, to protect that. Okay. Next, AI supports. You must remember, AI supports your role, but not your responsibility. You still hold the accountability. You still hold the responsibility. Whatever output, the results, you have to be accountable for it. So it only supports your role. It is a co-pilot. It is not the pilot. You are the pilot. Yeah. Now, AI helps with writing. Again, I'm emphasizing this. I cannot emphasize it enough because it is so important. It does not handle confidential info. So you've got to handle that part. Yeah. It only helps you with writing. AI handles the task, but HR handles the trust. So people trust in you, not the AI. So you carry the trust on you. Yeah. So this is how responsible people use AI. So you've got to promote that. Next is, yeah. So AI is powerful, but there are risks. You need to understand the risks. Yeah. The risk is, again, here, IC numbers, salaries, health information. When I say employee data, right, these are the information that you cannot put in. Disciplinary records, names. You've got to use dummy data. So I'm building on what I said earlier on, yeah, personal and sensitive data. Now, again, don't treat AI output as 100% accurate. Don't copy and paste without checking. It is reading from so many information. The information may be outdated. So you have got to check. Yeah, always review, verify, human prove it. The next one is, don't let AI decide for you to make the final decision. Yeah, don't conclude or make judgments from whatever output you get. Use it as a draft. You need to remember, whatever output is a draft. It is not the final version. You decide the final version. Okay. Next is ethical use of AI. See, AI always put people first before the technology. So this again, right? When you use AI, be honest about using it. You need to be honest that, yes, I used AI. Don't hide. Yeah. Because that is the only way where you actually are transparent. So when you use AI, be transparent. Yeah. And again, AI sometimes, when you get responses from AI, it uses he or she. So this is bias. So you need to be very cautious when you read the output. If it says he, why he? Yeah, sometimes it is gender bias. So you've got to spot all this biasness in AIs. And the most important thing is, the use of AI needs to be audited. So for example, nowadays they have enterprise chat GPT. See, when you use AI, the ones that everyone is using, right? The information is shared. Everyone can see, public can see. But when you use enterprise AI, or you use the Microsoft Azure, so these are all preset boundaries where outsiders cannot actually access. So your IT team creates certain passwords and certain security features. So if you're using AI, you're going to start using AI, you're going to promote AI, make sure that you use the right AI, the enterprise AI, and make sure it is audited. You need to keep records of when you used AI, when and why you use the AI. Yeah. And okay, I'm coming to the final slide here. See, AI is here to stay, which means we human need to collaborate with AI. It's time for us to now accept the reality that AI is here. AI is the thing. Yeah. So, so it is not about human versus AI. It is now human plus AI. And our role in HR is evolving. So we should not be threatened. But those who do not know how to use AI probably, will need to now learn how to use AI, because you need to enable AI now. Yeah. So HR won't be replaced. It will be redefined. So you must remember that. Yeah. We're not going, AI is not here to replace you, but it is going to redefine your job. Yeah. HR leads with judgment and empathy, but AI is the assistant here. Yeah. AI is going to be the assistant here that's going to help you with decision making. Yeah. An HR professional won't be the most technical. We don't have to be the most technical people. I myself am not a technical person. I do not know coding, but I need to learn how to embrace it. I need to learn how to adapt it. I need to learn how to be agile enough to accept these changes and move with these changes. So as HR professionals, you've got to move with these changes that's coming here, or it's already here. And the human-centered workspace will be very AI enabled. See, everybody's talking about AI. So you got to enable AI usage in your workplace. And modern toolkit and essential skills for it. It's now, you need to have AI skills. Yeah, it is AI collaboration. It is AI and HR collaboration. So the future of HR team is speed from AI, and the heart from human. It is a combination. Speed, efficiency from AI, and of course, the emotions from the human. Yeah. So with that, right, before I end, this is just a masterclass. Let me let me go back to my Zoom. Sharing. Okay. Okay. So I've actually ended the presentation. Yeah, but what I would like to say is, we are going to organize a program, a face-to-face program. And this is going to be a certification program for generative AI in HR and L&D. Yeah. So this is what we do throughout the program is we will actually talk about AI and how AI is going to help HR professionals and L&D in their job. At the same time, we are also going to do a mock assessment, which will prepare you for the certification. Yeah. So you can find out more about this training or this program from the organizers. They'll be more than happy to assist you on the information. Yeah, with that, I want to wish all of you the best. Embrace AI, start using AI because it is your co-pilot. Yeah, you've got to use it. You've got to embrace it. You've got to use it. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thank you,
Okay,
dear.
so thank you, Ma'am Santi. Again,
You're most
from
welcome.
Garante Academy, we thank you, everyone, for being with us today for this masterclass. And a big thank you to Miss Santi for sharing her valuable knowledge and insight. It was really impactful, Ma'am Santi, and we truly appreciate everyone's active participation during the questions as well. And yeah, it was really interactive and meaningful. So, Miss Santi, is it okay for us to have a quick group photo as well? If it's okay for everyone to turn on
Okay.
their cameras as well. It will just be quick. And if you have questions regarding your attendance and certificates, please do let me know. Thank you.
Thank you.